30 seconds to go live. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I am calling this regular scheduled council meeting of Monday, February 14th, 2022 to order. With us this evening is members of the council body, our corporation counsel, Howard Rifkin, along with members of the Hartford Public Access TV. This meeting is being broadcast by Hartford Public Access TV, channel 96 for Comcast and 6032 for Frontier, and it's also streaming live via Facebook. Mr. Town Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark.
Here.
Councilman Gale. Councilman Gale. Councilwoman Hercules.
Present.
Councilman LeBron. Councilman LeBron. Councilman Mitchum.
Here.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Present.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilman Sanchez.
Present.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
Councilman Gale. Councilman LeBron. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now our town clerk will lead us on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor. You're on mute, Majority Leader.
I'm sorry, through you, Madam President. Good evening. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And with that said, I would like to make the motion to approve the minutes of the January 24th, 2022 council meeting.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments? Any comments on the minutes? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale. Councilwoman Hercules.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron. Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place the following items on our consent calendar. Communications item 3.1, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution confirming the reappointment of Hyacinth Yenny to the Civilian Police Review Board. Communication item 3.5, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the transfer of $36,230 from the Sundry non-operating department to the Registrars of Voters Office for special election in March 2022, which I believe that is going to be on March 1st. Communication item, report item 4.1, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with the company resolution urging the city of Hartford to apply for grants and funds and develop a partnership as requested by the collective body representing the North Hartford community, which this item was amended. The regular resolution was amended in committee, which is before us now, and was amended by the PEDH committee, which you would see the original item is item 5.1, but we will be taking action on item 4.1, which again was amended in the PEDH committee. Reports of committee item 4.2, Planning and Economic Development and Housing Committee with a company resolution approving the disposition of the following parcels to Nina Properties LLC, care of Northside Institutions Neighborhood Alliance, Inc. Communicate reports of committees item 4.3, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committees with accompanying resolution supporting the overall efforts of the mayor and the Parkville Arts and Innovation District Steering Committee. Reports of committee item 4.4, Special Joint Planning, Economic Development and Housing Committee and Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee with accompanying resolution for the Shepherd Park RHF Limited Partnership Tax Abatement. Reports of committee item 4.6, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with accompanying resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a 2-year lease agreement with RMS Dono 1 LLC. Reports of committee item 4.8, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with accompanying resolution calling for a change of fines for illegal dumping. Item 6.1, ordinance, Mayor Brunner with accompanying ordinance proposed amendment to section 12-2 on voting districts. Item 7.1, a resolution confirming the appointments to SMART, introduced by Councilman Sanchez. Resolution item 7.4, a resolution introduced by Council President Rosado, Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Rossetti, Councilman Sanchez, Councilwoman Surgeon, Councilman LeBron, with accompanying resolution appointing Councilwoman Marilyn Rossetti as Assistant Majority Leader. Resolution item 7.5, Council President Rosado, Councilwoman Rossetti, Councilman Sanchez, Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum, Councilwoman Hercules, and Councilman Gale introduce a resolution appointing the standing committee chairs and members for a term beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2023.
Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any comments? Councilwoman Surgeon?
I would like to remove item 7.5 from consent and put it on action.
Can you just say which one that is again?
Item 7.5 is the council resolution appointing members to the different committees.
Thank you. Second.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any other comments?
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, Madam Chairman. Do we, if we're taking something off consent, do we even need a motion and second, or does it just, we move it to action just like that?
Through you, Madam President.
Yes.
Through you, yes, it just goes automatically to action. There's no need for a vote.
Thank you, Corporation Counsel. Are there any other comments? Would there be a none? Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we receive the following items. Communication item 3.6, Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee. Communication concerning postponing ordinance amending the Housing Code. Communication item 3.7, Planning, Economic Development and Housing Committee. Communication concerning the postponement of the resolution calling for a designated tractor trailer parking. Communication item 3.8, Health and Human Services Committee. Communication concerning postponing resolution for the Hartford Opioid Task Force. Communication item 3.9, Health and Human Services Committee with the company resolution presentation from Liani Arroyo, Director of the Department of Health and Human Services. And actions on the agenda item 5.1, which is a resolution introduced by myself and Councilman LeBron, a resolution urging the city of Hartford to apply for and accept grants to develop a partnership as requested by the collective body representing North Hartford. But again, that was amended and we amended by the PDH committee and was voted on as item 4.1 under the consent calendar.
second,
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions, any comments? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
yes,
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rozzetti,
yes,
Councilman Sanchez,
yes,
Councilwoman Surgeon.
yes,
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we refer the following items to the mentioned committees. Communication item 3.3, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution authorizing the city to accept the assignment of all of the HEDCO Inc. portfolio of non-performing business loans created with the Community Development Block Grant Funding to the Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee. Communication item 3.4, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution authorizing the city of Hartford to enter into an agreement with Murphy Road Recycling for municipal solid waste disposal and recycling services to the Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee. Resolution item 7.2, resolution introduced by Councilman LeBron and Councilman Sanchez for a comprehensive plan for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, to the Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee. And resolution item 7.6, resolution introduced by Councilman Gale, Council President Rosado, Councilwoman Rozzetti, Councilman Sanchez, that says the requesting the Director of Finance and purchasing agent appear before council to review the procurement process, also to the Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee. Communication item 3.2, Mayor Bronin with the company resolution authorizing a second round of pilot city-owned property transfers to the Hartford Land Bank, which has a public hearing on February 22nd, 2022, and also 824 review by the Planning and Zoning Commission to be referred to the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee. Resolution item 7.3, introduced by Council President Rosado and Councilwoman Rozzetti, confirming the appointment of Ilka Torres to fill a vacancy on the Hartford School Building Committee to the Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Committee.
second,
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
yes,
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rozzetti,
yes,
Councilman Sanchez,
yes,
Councilwoman Surgeon.
yes,
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on item 4.5, which is a special joint planning, economic development, and housing committee and operations management, budget, and government accountability committee resolution authorizing to enter into a tax abatement agreement with Westbrook 4 Housing.
second,
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Mr. Clerk, for the record, I'd like to recuse myself on this vote as I do work for the Hartford Housing Authority for the record.
Got
There
it.
being no other discussions, could you please call the roll? Thank you.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
yes,
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rozzetti,
yes,
Councilman Sanchez,
yes,
Councilwoman Surgeon.
yes,
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we take action on item 7.5, which is a resolution appointing standing committee chairs and members for a term beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2023.
second,
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I just want to make a few comments before I vote on this item. And so please bear with me. Over the last 2 years as the chair of the PD&H committee, I want to thank all the community residents who have come out and speak at the committee level for their participation. I also want to thank the Department of Director, Mr. Matthews, and his wonderful staff for all their support as the chair for the committee. And I just want to also thank them for all the time they have spent in educating me on economic development and housing. It's just been a wonderful experience. I'm learning so much from them. I also want to thank my assistant, Sadea Lee, for her meticulous, detailed job that she does in getting the report ready for the PD&H committee. One of the things I want to tell the residents and or residents who are listening is my love for planning economic development. When I first ran for office, that was my passion, is for the economic development, housing, providing jobs, providing housing for residents in the city. And setting those policies, I believe in support with my colleagues on the committee, we have certainly accomplished a lot in laying a foundation for sustainable balance in our city, or sustainable footing in our city going forward. So one of the things as I don't believe in, and since I've been on council, is that I do believe that just like we have a council president and having everyone going through 9 different council persons, you funnel all information through one person. And so that's one of the reasons why I do believe that we should only have one person in charge of a committee. The buck stops with that person. So even though I will not be the committee chair for the next 2 years, I will still be a member of the committee. And I just want to thank my colleagues for everything they have supported as all the things they've accomplished over the last 2 years, and for all the policies we have set for the city. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to make my my comments on this issue, on this agenda item.
Thank you, Councilwoman Surgeon. Councilman Mixton.
Thank you, Madam President. I wonder if I could inquire through you, only just for some clarification, and I guess I'd be inquiring of Councilwoman Surgeon. When we met to go over the agenda last week, the understanding was that this matter was on consent because Councilwoman Surgeon was consenting to no longer being the chair of that committee. And I just want to inquire if that's no longer the case, and if in fact if Ms. Surgeon is voting against this resolution as a result, because that affects my understanding of the thing.
I will, well, to answer your question, I did have conversations with Councilwoman Surgeon, co-chairing the PDH committee with Councilman Sanchez, who also has a passion to be a chair, as a co-chair with Councilwoman Surgeon. And I'm not going to speak for Councilwoman Surgeon, but I did get an email from her stating that she would continue to be a member of PEDH, but would not co-chair it with Councilman Sanchez. But that she was fine on staying on the committee. And now I'll defer to Councilwoman Surgeon.
Through you, Madam Chair, absolutely. Again, in my comments, I honestly believe that the buck stops with one person. I do believe that, just like I gave an example, in our charter, it calls for a council president, instead of funneling all the information to 9 different council persons, sending that information to one person to disseminate, sending it down to all the council members. And that's one of the reasons I don't believe that, co-chairing a committee basically, if you need help, you reach out to help. As I explained to the council president, that over the last 2 years, as I've been the chair of the committee, I've reached out when I need help, if I'm not going to make a meeting. And my council colleagues, the committee members, have been extremely helpful to me. Again, I just don't believe in that concept. Unfortunately, my colleagues disagree with me, and you have 5 votes, you move on. So in response to you, Councilman Mitchum, the council president was aware of my did not want to co-chair a committee. And so therefore, that's why I step aside, and I will still be a committee member.
And for the record, I have to say, I co-chair OMBGA with Councilman Clark. I enjoy it every day. We work very, very well together. And Councilman Sanchez co-chairs Public Safety with Councilman Clark. But we do have to respect Councilwoman's decision on this matter. Councilman Sanchez?
Yes, thank you through you, Madam Chair. And I appreciate that you shared this, Councilwoman Surgeon. I was just a little curious if people think you and I have a rift or a problem working with each other, but I'm glad you explained it. That it's just your belief on what kind of leadership you want the committee to have. But, I respectfully request from you, Councilwoman Surgeon, to reconsider. I think you and we work great together. And I think, having a team effort together on any committee is very helpful to one another, as well as sharing our aids on the goals that we set forth. Yeah. So if you don't mind, that is a request I am pushing now for you to reconsider. And if not, I respect your decision.
Yeah. One of the things I think of all the council members that I'm the closest to since I've ran for office is Councilman Sanchez. And one of the things I love about him, his word is his bond. I've always loved that about him. And so I thank you very much for putting that offer on the table, Councilman Sanchez. But one of the things I've learned as I've gone through my business world, and even in my current position, you have one leader, you have one person to send information through. One of the things I look at our forefathers who wrote our charter, and that's exactly what they said. You get a council president who you funnel all information through, and you work through that person. And so that is just my belief. I am not going anywhere. I love, and my passion for economic development will still be there. So I will still be, it's just that I will hand the reins over to you now, so you can take the reins, and keep us all in order. Because again, one of the things about being a chair of a committee is keeping the agenda moving, and keeping things in order. That's what the council president do. Okay. And so that's why when I started working with you guys, when we ran in 2019 and we started our exploratory how we would do and what we would need to do, I don't think I've changed my beliefs since then. And so I am not going anywhere. I will still be actively involved in the committee. It's just that I will not be the one to keep the agenda moving, and I will not be the one to disseminate all the information to the committee members.
Thank you.
Councilman Mitchum?
Thank you, Madam President. I would just say that I have appreciated the leadership of Councilwoman Surgeon on that committee, and without any shade to Councilman Sanchez, whose work as a chairman of another committee I also appreciate, along with just his work generally, I think given the lay of the land on this, me personally, I would like the opportunity to vote on that chairmanship separate from all the others. So I would move to sever that from everything else in, what is this, 7.5, was it? Whatever we're considering. I would move to 7.
Council President, it's not a chairmanship.
I beg, how have I?
Chairwoman?
I beg your pardon. That is absolutely correct. I should have just really just said the chair, the work of the chair, but it is a chairwomanship in this case, or chairmanship if it's Councilman Sanchez. But I appreciate the correction, and I would move to sever that portion of this item from the rest.
So is that your motion, Councilman Mixon, to sever?
That is my motion.
What's going on with my? Oh.
That's my motion.
Oh, wow.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
So there is a motion to sever the PEDH chairmanship on this resolution. It's been motioned by Councilman Mixton, second by Councilwoman Tiana Hercules. Did I hear Tiana Hercules, Councilwoman, second that?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. Are there any other discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you call the roll? And for the record, could you please state what we're voting for, please?
Yes, Madam President, we're voting to sever the PEDH chairmanship from the resolution 7.5.
Chair, whether menship or womanship.
Chair. Thank you.
Just lost. What's going on?
There being no other discussion, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
No.
Councilwoman Hercules,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
No.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
No.
Councilman Sanchez,
No.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion failed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now we're back to the motion. If you could please call the roll on the original motion.
Councilman Clark,
Pass.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hercules,
Pass, please.
Councilman LeBron, Councilman Mitchum,
Pass.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon,
Abstain.
Councilman Clark,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Hercules,
I'm voting no.
Councilman Mitchum,
No.
motion pass.
Thank you,
No,
Mr.
Wait.
Oh, no. Motion failed. I have a question to corporate counsel. It's 4 yeas, 2 nays, and 2 abstain.
I apologize. Through you, Council President. Tell me the vote again.
4 yeas, 2 nays, 2 abstain, 1 absent.
Well, an abstention is not a negative vote. So I believe the motion is adopted with an affirmative vote of 4.
Okay, thank you. Motion pass.
Thank you, Mr. Town Clerk. Without further ado, this meeting is adjourned. Everyone stay safe and good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.